been a red-hot start to Sunday hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and things are about to get hotter again. The Adelaide 36ers at home taking on the winless New Zealand Breakers so far. The 36ers, expected to be a team around the mark this season, have been a little slow to get going. Here's their DoorDash starting five.
It is, and McCarron's running the point. Withers is one that looked to show some progress in that win. Hit a big shot against the Jack Jumpers. Yep. Almost forgot their name for a second. And what about the New Zealand Breakers? They got Besson after an outstanding game against Phoenix. He gets the start. No
Peyton Siva copes for New Zealand. No Jeremiah Martin.
Absolutely. You figure Delaney and the ball will get in Delaney and Witzel's hands a lot tonight. That's where the bulk of their scoring should come from.
70th meeting between these two teams. New Zealand lead the matchup 38-31 in their history. 36ers grabbing their first win of the NBL22 season on Thursday night in Tasmania. They made hard work of it at times too. First look for McCarron rattles out. Will McDowell-White, we saw a huge dunk from Mitch Creek in the Southeast Melbourne game when Will McDowell-White had tongues wagging all around the world with his hammer dunk as Hugo Besson was red hot on Friday, and he starts well here.
Besson.
Wow, sacre bleu! He is still on fire.
What did you just say?
I said that Isaac Humphries he is so important to the Adelaide 36ers. The way he started last season was in career best form, has had injury problems, and that'll help his confidence around the basket is where he's at his best.
This pass from Delaney enables Yanni Wetzel.
But Besson he was on fire the other night against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Not just from the field, he also had eight rebounds.
Good find from Isaac Humphries for Daniel Johnson. 4 of 9 from outside on Friday night for Hugo Besson, the youngest New Zealand player ever to score 25 points in a game at just 20 years of age, and he's still recovering from COVID.
It is. Had 26 points, in fact, and you can tell by his stroke, a beautiful stroke, nice release, and technically I don't think is a next star, Jack, but nope, he really is a next star. He's one that's eligible for the draft, and with the form that we've seen, he'd be working up the draft boards because he can shoot it. That is a very important asset.
He's classed as an import. Ousmane Dieng is their next star for this season, but the French connection have been good so far this season for the Breakers. Delaney steps out. His first look is deep. Rebound on the 36ers skipper, Mitch McCarron. Withers walks the tightrope baseline. They couldn't finish off.
Bad turnover.
Great pass by DJ. Withers has got a lot more than I think his statistics have shown so far. Modest scoring, but he's a player that lets the game come to him. And I think it's CJ still trying to figure out the balance of how to get him more involved without compromising Isaac Humphries or Daniel Johnson, and still getting him to be able to contribute.
The good thing is, Drew, he can guard multiple positions, so you can play him in different spots on that floor.
And there we see him down low. Absolutely. He's 1 through 5. And you see it a lot already at the start of the season, the willingness of a lot of teams to switch and not so concerned about bigs to littles. He can actually guard both. If he's guarding a big, he switches onto a little, he can move his feet and keep him in front of him. And he's strong enough to deal with the big boys down low.
Down White from outside. That looked nice. He's flying around the court. Now that he's had a haircut, Will McDowell-White.
He looks a lot better, doesn't he?
Well, he was an OFA in his first game.
What about the dunk?
Nice. And that sparked this Breakers outfit.
And that's what I'd like to see Mitch Creek do a lot more, shoot the ball. I mean, when he came into the league, he was playing for Cairns, I think, and he was a go-to man. And then he joined Melbourne United and he became a facilitator. But now he has the ability to score.
Nice drive there by Rasmus Bark into the starting lineup tonight. So is that an adjustment for Mitch McCarron? Copes, as you say, in Melbourne's lineup, he had so many scorers all over the floor. Does he need to take a bit more scoring responsibility?
He needs to take those threes. He's good at shooting the ball. Look a little bit more offensive, because what it does is opens up the lanes for the two bigs that they have down low. Now you got to get out and guard him, and you can drop that ball in to either Isaac or Daniel Johnson.
He has shown, particularly last year, that as a point guard and running a really talented team, he can run a really talented team. He can distribute it. He knows how to get the ball to the people in their right spots. And in this team, though, with the makeup of it, I think you're right. I think that he's going to be relied on to score a little bit more and be a little bit more proactive and creating shots for himself as well as others.
Johnson unsuccessful. Here's Dusty Hannahs. It's what he's there to do.
That's your boy, Joey. There he is.
Well, it is, and I think he's given up a lot of three-point field goal attempts. He's been more about trying to get to the rim and floaters, but that's his bread and butter, and that's what he's been signed for. Dear me.
Second treble of the game for McDowell White. Hannahs drives. That's exactly what you were talking about,
That's
Drew.
exactly what I'm talking about. And there's nothing wrong with that play, but not at the expense of bypassing what he needs to do, and that is knock down threes.
Delaney got Hannahs up in the air. Took it at Humphries.
It's going to be his second.
Draws the foul.
If it's on Humphries. Yep, second foul. So I think CJ's going to be forced into making a decision here. Just a little late. See how he shuffled across. Hannahs overplays and was way too committed to Delaney. And Isaac Humphries just needed to be over earlier. Instead, he a little late and just tried to contest at the rim rather than putting his body in the pathway of Delaney.
The good thing is, though, Humphries out. Bairstow's been playing great so far this year, so you don't lose a lot.
Here is Cam Bairstow in his third game with the 36ers. Former Chicago Bull. Falling away. Didn't get the bounce he was after. Todd Withers getting his hands dirty. He misses as well. Foul's called on the breakers. So far, Cam Bairstow, Copes, 15-7 in the game against Perth. 15-8 in their other round one game against Illawarra. 9 points, 5 rebounds on Thursday.
And that's magnificent off the bench. Anytime you can get that production coming off the bench, it's going to help you.
36 games over a couple of seasons with the Bulls. Hannah's looking for contact. No call coming from our officials. Delaney, backdoor McDowell White, extra pass. Really nice ball movement.
Nice.
Wetzel with the stuff.
This is sharp. I like the way they've been getting a lot of man movement as well as ball movement. Going to the second, sometimes the third side. Any overplay, a little back cut, the extra pass. And Wetzel goes up with the two hands and stuffs it in.
So a timeout call. Breakers lead at 16-9. Just moments ago, Southeast Melbourne defeating Melbourne 94-86 in the throwdown. We jump straight from there to this one. A short time ago, Nellie Meadows caught up with Mitch Creek.
Let's start with that dunk, please, because it was on an NBA champion and it was one of the best dunks we've seen in the NBL. Talk us through it from your perspective.
I just saw we had really good pressure in the half court. Did a great job of kind of utilising the half court as a trap line. Got a deflection with Peatling. I turned around and I just took off. It was a great pass by Izzy, but I didn't honestly know it went in. I didn't know it was on Daly. I didn't know anything. I hadn't seen the replay. All I saw was I looked up and I got a shoulder to the face, and after that I was like, that's not okay. We don't play basketball that way. I'm never going to let anyone play that way. So I apologise to people if I took the game into the wrong way, but I'll protect my teammates, I'll protect myself, but that's not how you play basketball. We had a very hype situation, bit of yelling and screaming, leave it at that, but there's no need to check someone. It's not rugby, this is basketball, so they want to play that way, they can fucking play that way.
Throwdown 13, it had a little bit of everything. You spoke to your teammates for quite a long time
Yeah.
at the end there. What was the message to them?
It's just between us. We know what we've got to do, so we'll take care of business.
The fact that you gave gave up an 18-point lead or this time around and they got back into it, but you still won, whereas in game 3 it was almost about that, around 17, 18 points. What did it mean to hold on this time around?
I mean, it doesn't mean anything right now. They got one of the best guys in the league, and Jack White still not back. He's back next week. Credit to him, you know, amazing job coming back from Achilles. He's done the same thing, but he's arguably one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. He's the X factor for them. Chris not there. This win doesn't mean shit for us. Their players weren't there, so we've got to take care of business when they got 100%.
I love the passion. I can see you fired up. Well done on the win.
There's plenty of passion you heard there from Mitch Creek.
Well, here's the only thing I don't understand with Mitch. He claims he didn't know whether it went in or not. He screamed and carried on like he knew it went in. So that's a little uncertainty about his analysis of what took place.
Sometimes when you get up that high, Gazy, you know, you lose your mind. I know you've never been up that high, you know, but some of us have.
Well,
You've done it a couple of times, Drew.
my word, YouTube, Geelong, come on.
Anyway, the air's very thin in Geelong.
And the rings are very low.
That's it. They play with 8.5 footers there.
Every time.
16-9.
Great, impressive start by New Zealand, particularly on this end of the floor. They've looked really efficient.
Now, he's looked efficient. He's actually playing a great basketball game so far.
Has 8 of their 18 points, McDowell White.
Perfect 3 of 3 from the field now. 2 of 2 from the three-point line. And looks in complete command. And this is where, when you've got a guy absent like Seaver, who's going to be dominating the ball, Will McDowell White, we know how good he can be. And the last couple of games, a game where he set the arena alight with that hellacious dunk on Phoenix. And now today, coming out strong on the offensive end.
McCarron trying to get busy on Rasmus Bark.
Well, they've shot themselves in the foot, whether it's second shots, those little bunnies around the rim, and there's another one. They just haven't been able to knock them down.
They're 3 of 14 to start this game, the 36ers, and McDowell White is all business.
He's on fire.
He's in the wrong league right now. This type of performance, this is elite.
So how do you play him if you have 2 import guards coming back?
Well, they're going to have to find a way to figure it out.
Adelaide have got to try and find a way to get some scores. The best way to do that is go to DJ.
Well, they do, but they have had good looks. 4 of 15 from the field, the Adelaide 36ers. And here's McDowell White. DJ's got to offer a little bit more help. Now, I don't know what their rules were. And again, I don't know how this matchup comes about. But when you've got the big on the little's eyes are going to light up.
Every time.
Particularly when you've already knocked down your first 3 shots and you're feeling confident. Those on-ball screens, they need to figure out what they're doing. You can't let McDowell White get that deep or even come off and splash those threes when he's perfect 2 of 2. You know he's going to let a couple more fly just to see how hot he is.
They haven't started 0-3, New Zealand, since 2006. And they've come out fired up today.
And it's fair to say they've been very unlucky in the last couple of years as well.
And we've got so many challenges that they're playing through at the moment, Copes. They're on the road again. They're staring down the barrel of 2 years in a row. Hannah's misses a 3-ball. Mojave King, I should say, of being away for Christmas, away from their families. And then, just to make things even harder, they've had a few players and their coach dealing with COVID.
Well, you know what? I love the way they're making the extra pass. This ball is humming from side to side. And when you consider Peyton Seaver, Jeremiah Martin, and let's not forget one of the greats, if not the greatest New Zealand breaker, Tom Abercrombie, is not there either. So a lot to come back. But, gee, they've looked good in their ball movement, and the Adelaide 36ers have got to do something about that. Try and lock it in, keep it on one side, but they're highly reactive right now, the Adelaide 36ers. Their defense is not having any influence on the sets and the action that New Zealand are trying to run.
The 36ers so far lost to Perth and Illawarra in the opening weekend. It was such a tough start for them. They would have seen the round 1 fixture come out and thought, okay, that's going to be a challenge. And we went down by 12 to Perth and 10 to Illawarra at home last Sunday.
Jack, that's nothing to be ashamed. You're talking about two teams
That's right,
which
yeah.
each and every one of us know are going to be in the finals.
100%.
So that's doesn't hurt you as much as losing games to if they had lost that Jack Jumpers, because despite their best endeavours, I think they've still got a ways to go before they become that genuine playoff contenders. They were in control of that game for most of it. So these are the games. This is the one where you want to hang around and you want to vie for what most people think is really one spot up for grabs in the finals. These are the games that can really come back to haunt you later on in the season.
Delaney, baseline. Nice move.
I love their offense. Drew is right. They're swinging the ball. They're making you react to their plays.
But this looks like it's the end of a hour-and-a-half long practice session, that the way the Adelaide are playing defence. There's no intensity, no ball pressure. They're able to ping that to wherever they want to go.
It's put back from Bairstow. He's trying to give them a spark. The lead is 10. The biggest lead in the game was 11. In the two games that that New Zealand played so far against the Phoenix, their biggest lead at any stage was 2. They've come out to play this afternoon. McDowell White. It's an outstanding opening quarter. 10 points. Little drop-off pass for Yanni Wetzel.
The bigs are in the wrong position. They're dropping off too deep. You either got to get up and stop that ball or stay with your man.
It's back out to 10 again. Crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre are desperate to get involved in this one, but New Zealand aren't letting it happen. Down White once again.
Wow, he is having a blinder, isn't he?
13 points on a perfect 5 of 5. McCarron blocked, followed by Ousmane Dieng. Bark runs the floor, calls off the chase. Dieng trying to create, had a foot in the paint. Deep on the 2 ball. Last minute of this opening quarter. It's been all New Zealand. Manny Malou did some good things on Thursday. That one didn't go.
Just didn't finish it. It was the right move. Good shot. Wasn't able to knock it down. And unusual these days in the NBL, the New Zealand Breakers only use the 6 players. And that's mainly because they've got so many on the injured list.
Down White drives and dishes out for Dieng. McCarron will have some time to give it off. Withers got it away. One-way traffic in the opening quarter at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on Sunday Hoops. It's New Zealand leading 28-15 here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Sunday Hoops on the Hungry Jacks NBL. The New Zealand Breakers up against the Adelaide 36ers. The 36ers on their home floor, where they've got a pretty good record overall, but New Zealand have come with big intentions, and they lead 28-15 after one. The winner of our Kmart Fam Cam for today, Kate Robbins. The 3-year-old twins enjoying their first season of basketball after sitting on the sidelines from day one, watching their big brother and big sister play. Isn't that absolutely fantastic to see? And from a New Zealand point of view, they have been brilliant in the opening quarter. They lead it by 13 as there's a lot happening in that opening quarter, so we get the first chance to welcome in John Casey.
Yeah, I was able to speak to Will McDowell-White pre-game. I asked him about his performances this year. He just looks more relaxed, more at home. I asked him if it was just familiarity with the league, knowing your players better, and he said, yep, all of the above. And I couldn't speak to him without asking him about that hellacious dunk, if I can borrow a word from Andrew Gaze. I said, was it premeditated? Did you march in there thinking I'm just going to throw it down? He said, it just came to me. I thought we hadn't finished strongly enough in the first couple, so I just decided to let it rip, and he certainly let it rip. But Adelaide's problems is that they've been doing this every game. Slow start.
Yeah.
5 of 22 from the field at 23%. Crowd have sucked the energy away from them, so full credit to the Breakers with what they've done.
Thank you, Case. Spot on there about opening quarters. Dieng off target with the 3.
But it's not like they've had, like even that last play, DJ, that's a shot that 9 times out of 10 he's going to make. They're just not making shots you'd normally expect them to. And there's another one that I'm not sure that Manny Manulu, under these circumstances, that is a good shot. In fact, I know it's not a good shot. 5 of 24 now, 20%, 1 of 7 from the field, and it's complete opposite down the other end of the floor.
Hugo Besson.
Besson! This is just...
It's almost as if Adelaide are playing practice games. Like you said, they're in practice and they're just going through the motions. If a guy's 5 for 5 from the field, when he gets that ball, you got to get up and in and make him pass that ball.
Nice drive, McCarron. He wanted a foul.
Well, you're spot on. Like, Besson, that last opportunity, no ball pressure. It's just there. The defense is sort of there, but really not having any
That's
impact.
the word. They're sort of there. They're not. You got to get up and in, make him move that ball around. You can't just let him stand there and shoot the ball.
Bairstow on the low block. Hook. Got to work on Delaney. Could have been a hook. The Breakers winless to start the season. Their 2 games against South East Melbourne. They've fallen short. They were belted in round 1, and then they lost by 7 on Friday night. I think we just saw from the Phoenix, who won earlier today over Melbourne, though, that they're a genuine title contender.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 3-0. Playing great basketball.
There's a bad breakdown for Adelaide defensively. CJ Bruton wants to talk about it. Oh, dear.
This is putrid start by the Adelaide 36ers, and rightly so. CJ burns another timeout, and at both ends of the floor.
Just went over
Let's
it in
listen
the
to
locker
CJ.
room on the in-out of bounds. If you're in-out of bounds, you protect the basket, right? He gets the layup. How? See it. See what's going on. It's a wrap switch. We're hustling. 1 to 4 is hustling. Ball movement. Hey, we're playing out of motion right now. No threes. Take them off the 3-point line. Scout. Take them off the 3. No more threes. But we got to slide our feet. Stay in front of the ball.
Hey, this is fucking here, boys. Come on, kick in.
Slide your feet. Box out.
1, 2, 3.
Motion. Let's go.
35-17. The Breakers have been simply outstanding so far. Their SodaStream shot chart is a thing of beauty.
That is a lot of green. That is a lot of green. Wow.
Well, 13 of 21, you're going to be happy with that, and then 5 of 10 from the 3-point line. You heard CJ. Clearly their desire has been to try and run them off the 3-point line. They've been able to get up 10. And
Or like running them on the 3-point line.
And we saw that with Besson's last shot. If you're running someone off the 3-point line, you're going to make him drive. Make him a driver. Rely on your help. You heard about the switches they wanted to run 1 through 4. If they get an on-ball screen, we'll switch, but be more aggressive on the ball and just don't let him either catch and shoot or one dribble, easy 3-point field goal attempt.
Delaney stood his ground. Johnson had to think his way through it. There's Bairstow. Tips it back in.
One thing when you've got a short rotation, it does give you peace of mind when you're on the floor, because you know that even if I make a misread or a small error, I'm not going to be yanked because there's no alternatives.
3 key pieces there, puzzle not playing today. Lovely move, Yanni Wenzel.
He's tough.
And it's getting in those positions. DJ's got to do a better job of not letting him catch it that close to the basket, half run it, keep the ball out of his hands.
Bairstow stepping out for 3. He's keeping them in it.
He is keeping them in it. He's tough coming off the bench. He's that spark that they need, but they got to play some defense. It's all about their defense right now.
8 points and 3 rebounds in 9 minutes for Cam Bairstow. 15-point lead for the Breakers. Delaney left open.
And although he missed that shot, that's still too wide open.
It was a late contest by DJ, wasn't it? And lucky to get let off the hook.
Now we go to the other end of the floor. Johnson's turn offensively. Shot clock down to 7. Delaney's hands have been pretty good. McCarron got involved. Here's Bairstow. Hannah's against the shot clock.
Well, there it is. That's what he's renowned for. And when you're struggling and trying to think, well, where's my shot coming from? Although it went right down to the half a second before he got it off, they're sometimes the best shots to take.
Easiest shots to take.
Because he didn't have to think about it. Right. He wasn't thinking, should I drive, should I not drive? He's thinking, this shot clock's running out. I've got no choice other than to shoot it.
Adelaide have scored the last 6 points. Here's Dan Shamir.
Let the bigs work with bigs. Okay, we all need to be connected on cuts, on the post-ups. Let them work with bigs. Okay, don't overhead, don't get beat back doors, so there's no late driven. That was a little unlucky. Okay, they got a tip, they got a kick. Okay, but it came from a cut. Okay, and the weak side rebound, as we know, all the time connected. Okay, let's go. Remember the ATO from the game for Hugo, chest. You will be here, Kyrene. Will use Yanni. Yanni just flip it and get Hugo over here, and then Hugo there, and then will you the kick, and then will you the kick back. Watch Kyrene also in the corner. Okay? Let's go, Hugo. 1, 2, 3, defense.
Breakers still lead it by double figures. We're talking about Dusty Hannahs before the timeout, Copes. You've been watching in the first couple of rounds. What are you seeing?
Well, surely he can play. Obviously he can play. You watch him in the preseason. He came in, knocked down shots. He's a shooter. Right now, I think he's under pressure, and he's probably putting more pressure on himself than they are, because they need him to score points. Tonight he's 2 for 3, but he needs to get more involved. He has to take more shots than he's taking. He has to get himself going. If not, and he's probably the third choice with Isaac and Daniel Johnson being in there. He has to get himself going.
Do they need to run more for him?
Probably needs to run a little bit more for him, because right now he's pressuring himself. He's trying to drive, whereas if he's a shooter, he should be taking these wide open shots.
Here he is, trying to get in deep. Foul by McDowell White.
Looks like he's trying to do something he's not used to doing. Drury?
He played at a big school, played at Arkansas, and put up some big numbers. Anytime you've averaged, what was it, 21 points a game in the G League a couple of seasons ago, clearly he can play. And it's just about finding his rhythm, working within the system, working with the guys that he's also got to try and help look after.
But that system could have been every shot for him in the G League. I mean...
Well, that's right, and that's why he's got to come to terms with new league, new set of teammates.
New offense.
Hugo Besson just continues his sharp form, knocked down another 3 down the other end of the floor. He's up to 11 points.
4 of 7 in the afternoon as well for the Frenchman. Here he is, guarded by Malou, able to get in deep. Wow, he's such a talent.
He is.
There's no way he should be able to drive by Malou like that.
Poor
and if he drives by him, there should be some help before he gets to that basket.
Duffelmeyer, beautiful pass for Malou. Gets up for the dunk.
Well, that's one way to get him back.
That'll get you help your confidence.
That'll get you a couple more minutes on the floor.
Dieng blows past Malou.
That won't.
No, sir.
So the good that we saw down the other end with a nice dunk, again, Manny Malou just can't keep anyone in front of him at the moment.
That's Uffelmeyer on the floor for the 36ers.
These guys, I don't care how well they play on the offensive end. You got to be able to contain somebody on the defensive end. If you don't, you won't be in the game.
There's a little slip. They come out, they bite on Hannes. So Hannes comes out, and Ousmane Dieng just leaped out. Now, on those down screens, when your guy is chasing the guy coming off the pin down, you should never come forward to help. And he came forward. There's only a half a step, 2 steps that allowed that slip, that direct pass. So that's just a young fella learning the craft and just needs to concentrate a little bit more on the rules. Defensive rules, that is. Right now, you got Besson, 13 points, McDowell White, 13, and Wetzel with 10. So 3 guys just chock full of confidence.
Besson kicks it out for Wetzel. Shot clock in single figures. He's a long way out. That doesn't stop him. It jumps out at the last second.
That ball could not have been more in the rim. I don't know whether just rolled around 2 or 3 times. That is a good-looking stroke. The follow-through, the arm extension.
The confidence.
Well, confidence right now he's making him, but sometimes you can have beautiful technique, and that thing just doesn't seem to drop because of the confidence.
Yeah,
when you combine good technique with a bit of confidence, that is a tough proposition.
Johnson trying to get in deep. That's a tough pass for Withers to control. He did okay to kick it out to Hiram Harris.
Wow, a tough shot there.
Nice move.
Well, there's a guy that's been a bit of a journeyman. And late signing for the Adelaide 36ers. Undersized 4 that can spend some time in the 3.
Delaney, nothing but net at the other end.
How do you get that wide open, though? Explain it to me.
Well, the ball pressure, there's nothing, no one's stopping the passing the ball. They're able to just swing it around the horn real easy. And there's certain players that you can hedge further off. Besson is not one of them. Have a look here. So there we see the pick and pop. Now, pick your poison, because Delaney's been shooting the ball, but when you've got Besson who's white hot, you got to stunt at Delaney. Just stunt at him and then stay at home at Besson. If Delaney makes one, well, so be it. But it all started with that on ball. Lou's so deep. They don't switch it. He's open. You either have to rotate real early and have someone come out to Besson, and so you got the 2-man rotation, or you got to do some better strategy on what you're doing with the on ball.
New Zealand have been moving the ball so well in this first half. Here's McDowell White.
Wow, they're putting on a show. They are putting on a show.
8 of 15 collectively from outside. And it's 2 men that have done the damage. Besson, 4 of 6. McDowell White, 4 of 4. Christmas Bark has Besson. It's French for 3.
Well, you know what he's doing? He's playing a game of horse with himself. There's no one within 2 meters of him. This is just tough in the sort of that semi-transition, but you've got to identify the scorers. Besson's up to 19. Big dancer.
Someone on that Adelaide team has to go. I got him. I'm not leaving him. You guys do what you got to do over there, but I'm staying home.
Well, they've put an elite defender on him now in Mitch McCarron.
Yeah, well, you're probably a quarter and a half too late.
Bark gets Delaney involved once again. He went baseline, met a body. Harris did well not to foul. 36 is in transition. Poetry in slow motion from Johnson.
Poetry in slow motion.
They've scored the last 5 in the game, and they're desperate to get some momentum going. The Breakers lead at 53-49. This time out with 1:42 to play after Friday night's game where Hugo Besson had 26 points on 4 of 9 from outside. He's done it all again so far this afternoon, but after the game on Friday, he gave us a little insight into his mindset.
I always had confidence in myself. I never doubt, even if I'm 0 for 10, I'm going to take the shot. I'm 10 for 10, I'm going to take the shot. I never doubt in myself, so that's the same if I'm having a good game or a bad game. I'm just playing, you know, what I know.
It's exactly what I expected him to say.
Look at the proud father there, Dan Shamir, just looking at his little prodigy and saying, that is music to my ears. No, he's not saying that. He's saying, that is music to my ears.
I wish my dad would look at me like that.
Don't worry, son. You just keep shooting the ball. You shoot as much as you want.
Here's Hugo Besson's shot chart for SodaStream.
And it's beautiful, and probably only one of those threes was really contested. He's been wide open. The rotations have been poor, and as such, he's taken advantage of it. But don't go to sleep on him when he puts it to the deck as well. He's shown that he can slice his way to the basket and create off the dribble, which he's going to have to do because not all defenses are going to be this poor on him. And he's going to have to find other ways to create his shot. And he's certainly shown off the dribble that he's more than capable of getting to the cup.
Took himself out of the draft this year for the NBA due to an ankle injury. Couldn't work out with any teams in the lead-up. So he's here in the NBL this season. It's been such an amazing springboard for so many now who have got NBA aspirations.
Well, if he keeps shooting the way he's shooting now, he won't be here for long, that's for sure.
Yeah. Got that time from Bart. Hiram Harris with his back to the basket. Hands off for Withers. He's shooting the ball well.
He's tough. I love the fact that he plays multiple positions, but he can knock the ball down. And he doesn't force anything. That's too easy. Come on, fellas. Come on, fellas.
Well, it is, and it's this end of the floor. And admittedly, even if you're out there in a practice drill, to be knocking down the three ball like they guys are, it's still pretty impressive. But you need to revisit their scout. Like CJ, you heard in the timeout, it's all about running them off the three-point line. Well, they've failed miserably in doing that. And it's all coming from the on-ball situation. They're not switching the on-ball. And as such, the pick and pop and the extra pass and the catch-up. So their rotations are a little slow, the Adelaide 36ers, and it's creating wide-open looks.
McDowell White has 19 points. His previous career high was 14 in the NBL. He's taking care of that in a half today. The Adelaide ball.
You saw Bryce Cotton and Vic Law, a dynamic duo that they're putting together. McDowell White, 19. Hugo Besson, 19.
Besson.
That is dynamic, and that is a duo that we probably never thought at the start of the season we'd be talking about in that type of tones.
Well, I think we thought we'd be talking about Peyton Seaver and Jeremiah Martin, didn't we?
We asked that question. What do you do when those two guys come back, though?
You sit them until such a time as that these guys show that they're not getting it done. And it's a good problem to have because those players, you look at their resumes, they're impressive.
Shot clock switched off. .56 on the board going into halftime. McDowell White has been flawless.
One for the ages.
Someone needs to shake his hand.
8 of 8 from the field, 22 points. The Breakers shooting the ball at 66%.
Wow.
They lead 59-42.
Well, they would have thought the Adelaide 36ers, let's take Delaney out of the game. If we take the Delaney out of the game, let someone else beat you. Well, that's what's happening. Delaney's 1 of 3 after a spectacular game the other night against the Phoenix. But it's allowed McDowell White and Hugo Besson just to go off tap from the three-point line.
Here's John Casey.
Thanks very much, Jack. Wow. Will McDowell-White, that's outstanding. We spoke pre-game. I asked you what have been the improvements in your game this year. What do you think it is?
Like everyone said, shooting. I worked on it pretty hard in the off-season with Modi and Dan. And, you know, first couple of games were rough, but I guess tonight's tonight.
New career high for you, and it seems to be happening. You're distributing when you need to, you're knocking down shots when you need to. Tell us about the psyche of this group at the moment. You're short-handed, but you're getting it done.
I mean, our slogan is unbreakable, and that's what we want to be. We know we have, you know, 3 starters out, 2 imports. Tommy's the best defender in the league. We're just not forcing anything. We're just playing our natural game, and it's showing in the first half.
Loving your work. Keep it up.
Thanks, John.
Will McDowell-White there from the New Zealand Breakers, and they are coasting at the moment. 17-point lead. It's 59-42. The 36ers have got massive problems here. We'll have the second half for you and a whole lot more. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL.
You're watching Sunday Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL. The New Zealand Breakers have come out all guns blazing this afternoon at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They lead 59-42. They're the first team so far in this NBL22 season to have 50 on the board at the half.
It is, and it's beautiful basketball they're playing. It's great to watch. They're moving the ball, they're getting it to the right people, and really no resistance by the Adelaide 36ers. Highly reactive defensively, and there's an example of it. They're trying to run them off the three-point line. They're shooting a gap when you've got a lock and trail. They're not doing enough on the on-ball screens, creating those opportunities for the perimeter players and the ball movement. And down the other end of the floor, they've missed many that they should have made. They're only shooting it at 36%. But that's no excuse for what's happening on the defensive end. you can have your highs and lows on offense, but your defense has got to be the foundation, and it's not. Withers has been okay for his 8 points. DJ does what DJ does. But the story is, look at this field goal percentage shooting. 66%, 58%, because we'll round it up from the three-point line. And then on the boards, well, there hasn't been a lot of boards for them to get. They're competing in that area. And, you know, they're taking good care of the basketball. Only 2 turnovers. So the field goal percentages and only the 2 turnovers says the Adelaide 36ers are well off the pace on what they're doing on the defensive end.
Well, Case is courtside at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. You're seeing this firsthand, Case. They do seem off by a long way at the moment, the 36ers.
Oh, it's just not pretty at the moment, let me tell you about that. And I think Drew's hit the nail on the head. During the last section of play phases, Jamie Perlman stood up, went to the players on the bench and said, whatever you do not leave Hugo Besson. The next 2 plays, he was wide open, knocking down shots. So it's been lost in translation. I'm not sure what they can do about this. CJ Bruton's getting a little more agitated than I've seen him so far, and not surprisingly, because their defensive breakdowns, well, it's going to cost them the game.
You've got a really good look at Hugo Besson. Speaking of not leaving him, when they do leave him, he makes them pay. He's a beautiful shooter of the basketball.
He is. He's just a classic, isn't he? I mean, he's ranked number 36 of the ESPN top 100 draft picks at the moment. 26 points against the Phoenix the other night and turning on here at the moment. I spoke with him pre-game and asked him his thoughts so far on the league. Said he was enjoying it, and I think that's pretty obvious. I actually said to him, is there a chance we can get 50 out of you tonight? And he just said, and just like a wry smile. Of course, we're not going to see 50. Well, at least I don't think we're going to see 50 from him, but 19 at half-time, maybe we're going to see 40, because the way he is shooting it, it is pretty to watch.
He's got 19 on 5 of 7 from outside in the opening half. Thank you very much, Case. Here is Hugo Besson's SodaStream shot chart.
It is, and it's been presented to him, Copes, on a platter, the way that they've been guarding him, and you could hear from the coaches, both in CJ's timeout and what he said about Jamie Perlman, is that the coaches understand what needs to be done, but it's failed in its execution because he's been open way too many times. They've got to make it more difficult for him. Get up and in, push him out of his stuff. But right now, he's able to move freely, shoot freely, and he's good enough to knock him down.
Look, right now, take the coaches out of it. As a player, you go in that locker room and say, I'm guarding this guy. I got him. He's not touching the ball again. If they don't do that, they're in trouble.
They probably need to do something about Will McDowell-White as well. Flawless. Has not missed so far in the game. 8 of 8 from the field, 22 points. He's taken his game to the next level today.
Well, it is, and this would be cutting into CJ more than most, because CJ had a lot to do with this young man as he came up through the high school ranks, coached him with the Spartans team in Brisbane in the Seaball, and now he's watching him destroy him and break his heart. And he is doing that. Look at the ease at which he comes off those on-balls. You're there, little step back, you get your confidence going, and then when they're taking that away, why would you going underneath and knocking down a 3-ball? That's just a matter of whether you make or miss it. He's not forced to change his shot. 22 points at 100%. 6 of 6 from the field, 4 assists. This is some sort of showing, and this has been a prodigy, and we've known how great Copes and I had worked with him for about 6 weeks late in the season when he first came out of the AIS, and you could see he had all the tools. He's been to Germany, he's spent some time in Europe, spent some time in the United States, and now the New Zealand Breakers are benefiting from his progress.
The challenge is all ahead of Adelaide. They trail in a big way at half-time. It's the Breakers who lead 59-42. Sunday Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Been a bumper Sunday hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. At halftime, it's New Zealand who lead 59-42. I'm guessing Dan Shamir, the coach of the Breakers, would be pretty pleased with things, and he caught up with John Casey moments ago.
Dan, a little bit of disruption pre-game. Didn't seem to affect your guys. You must be ecstatic with the way they've started.
We definitely played a good half, shot the ball well, but we battled in the paint. The team is slightly bigger than us. They post up, they go for the offensive rebound, and it's a battle in the paint.
Really impressed with Besson so far, and Will McDowell-White. He's taking it to a new level this season.
Yeah, both of them different stories. Will is continuing with us, and this is exactly what we expect him to do, to sometimes take over games. He's a great player. And also Hugo, second game that he's showing what he can do. And hope he continues like that.
You're short-handed. 4 of your players played all 10 minutes in the opening quarter. I spoke with Finn Delaney pre-game and said, can you play another 39? He said, at least. So he's ready to go. Are you going to ask a lot of these players in the second half, or are you conscious of their minutes?
I'm not conscious of all of their minutes. Everybody needs to dig in. We are short-handed and we're up and we want to win this game, and day off is tomorrow, not today.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Dan Shamir has been smiling all afternoon. Great to have him back with the Breakers. Couldn't coach in round 1 due to COVID. Symptoms related to that. He was quite unwell.
Yeah.
My understanding.
Like he got a serious dose of COVID, and great to see that he's recovered. Isaac Humphries draining that opening 3 for the Adelaide 36ers.
Didn't see a lot of him in the first half.
Got into foul trouble early, didn't he?
36ers run the floor. Withers underneath. Well, the quarter's only been going 1 minute and 20 seconds, Coach, but they've scored off the first 2 possessions.
Absolutely. Now let's work on this defensive end down here. Get some stops. Put some scoring together.
Sickle middle on ball, and the roll. Nice pass though, McDowell-White. Career high at 14, 22 in the first half.
5 assists to go with that too. And Karen rolls it in for Johnson. Caught on the arm by Delaney.
You've got to like Delaney as well, because when you see your teammates on fire, and there's 3 of them that's been carrying the load, Wetzel with 12, McDowell-White 22, and Hugo Besson with 19. Not in a hurry to get his own numbers going. Just prepared to say, these guys are hot. I'm happy to play that second fiddle role, despite an outstanding game on Friday against the Phoenix.
Played 39 minutes, as Case said to Dan Shamir in that game. Almost seemed as if he took the round 1 loss, and they were disappointing first up, Coach, but it almost seemed as if Finn Delaney, as one of the leaders, took that round 1 loss personally.
Absolutely. That first half, I don't think he scored the first half, did he? And he came out the second half and started playing better. But he put him under his wings the second game and just took over. And he's always been a fantastic player anyway. I've loved him from day 1 when I tried to get Andrew to sign him up in Sydney.
Why didn't you sign him?
Oh, my God.
A lot of closures that need to come in.
Nice finish from Wetzel.
Down low, catching it too deep. No matter who it is, the bigs, every player in the competition has got a player that if you can throw it in that deep to him, you're playing catch-up.
3 free throws coming here for Todd Withers.
This happens way too much in the NBL. This is a professional league. You don't foul a shooter. You cannot foul a jump shot shooter. Carry a hand. If you carry a hand and he makes it, then you pat him on his back and say, well done.
Let's get courtside to John Casey.
I spoke with Mojave King just during the half-time break. He actually passed a fitness test pre-game during the shoot-around on a problem hip at the moment, but he is out of the game. So it is going from bad to worse for Adelaide. He won't be coming back. The hip problem has flared again, which just shocking news because he's such an important component for Adelaide. Just getting back to, you were talking Finn Delaney. During the timeouts, he's taking ownership of it. He's very vocal. He's really driving this team. It's been impressive to watch.
I'll tell you the other thing, when you think if you're having defensive problems, it doesn't help when you've got Sunday Dench on the bench who He's their inspirational leader. He sets the tone.
Yep.
He picks up three-quarter court. He turns his player 2 or 3 times, and that type of defense can be infectious for those behind him. So there he is there. He's had a nasty corky that's been causing some problems, and they're hopeful that next weekend that he may be able to rejoin the team.
He's been missing with a quad injury to start the season, Sunday Detch.
You're right, Joey. With him and McCarron at the 1-2, then they started to shut a lot of those guards down.
Kai Soto also sitting down again, not playing today. Humphries off the turnaround. That's a foul over the back. Been called on Todd Withers.
I don't mind those fouls. It's a hustle foul. You're down 13 points. You're trying to get an offensive rebound.
And with Detch coming, when he does come back, you think McCarron, who's an elite defender as well, and you throw him Sunday in there. See, he's not doing what Dusty's just doing there. Just letting the guy bring the ball down comfortably, no disruption whatsoever. He's up and in and putting more pressure on it.
Wetzel, nice pass for Bark, although he put his foot on the line.
Well, who do you bring off the bench, Joey, when Dench comes back?
Well, I don't know whether these days it's as important to many about who starts. It's more about how you play your minutes.
Of course.
How many minutes that they'll play together. So sure, they'll have to figure that out. But right now, I would be trading their defense and bringing in more defense if you're trying to prioritise what they need, despite how poor their offense has been, with a little circus shot there from DJ.
Banks open on a Sunday for DJ. 63-52. Sunday Hoops, the Hungry Jacks NBL. They've done a good job, Adelaide, in this third quarter so far of slowing New Zealand down. They were getting buckets for fun in the opening half. That pass a little wild from Withers.
Well, it's a noticeable change on the defensive end, what we've seen from Adelaide. CJ's clearly put a rocket up and emphasised the fact that there needs to be more ball pressure and more discomfort for the New Zealand Breakers on the offensive end.
Do not scream at the referee across the court. Please listen, I'm talking at the moment, please. Do not scream at him across the court.
Can you tell me what about the foul?
They both grabbed each other at the same time. There was no foul. Do not scream at him across the floor. Next time will be a warning.
Well, how do you talk to the person across the road if you don't scream?
You got to put your hand up.
What's a warning going to do?
Means if he
does it again,
barks again, he's going to wear a tee.
Come on. Do not scream at the referee down the hall.
Oh, across the floor.
Yeah, damn. How do you get his attention?
Strong rebound, Yanni Wetzel.
Another really good scoring opportunity that they come up short with.
Delaney had the mismatch on Hannah's, gave it up for Erasmus Bark 3. Hasn't been able to get his season going so far. Bark, lovely drive, McCarron.
Beautiful.
Coast to coast from the skipper.
That's more like it, Adelaide. That's more like it.
Dan Shamir wants to talk about it. The first time in the game that the 36ers have been able to get some momentum going their way.
Well, the shots that were dropping are no longer dropping, despite still had some really good looks, and the little shake and bake and in and out move, that's something you do every day at practice as you go through it. And now all of a sudden Dan Shamir's got a few things to think about.
Step it up. Okay, this is what this timeout is for. He has you on the big-to-big, they switch. You get there, you get him, we need to attack. You understand what I say? On the big-to-big fight side, we need to attack. On the first one, with good separation on the first one, then go, then attack. Want Yanni in there, okay? We go one side now. Okay, play it with Hugo, one side. Run it here so you get it here. Set the screen, you the ahead pass. And I want to go 3. Okay, so if it's not that, it's 3 with Yanni. Set him up well, let them clear, and play with him as much as you need to get Yanni a layup. Okay, fellas, come on, back up a little bit now. Come on, back up.
Well, I like the fact on that play the destination's going to be looking at Yanni Wetzel, because he's being dominant down low. And when you're knocking down the 3 balls, you can fall in love with it, and they've kicked it out and already had some 3 balls that have come up short with it. But you can understand why, given the success that they had in the first half. They want to keep going to that well. But now that starts to tighten up a little bit, Yanni Wetzel, 7 of 8 from the field down low, and has looked in command when he gets the ball down low.
Down White, surveying the floor. Again, they swing into the corner, and again, Rasmus Bark,
come on,
puts his foot on the paint. Into the starting lineup tonight for Peyton Seaver, who's out injured at the moment. Well, 2 of their 3 imports not playing. Jeremiah Martin also out injured at the moment.
Didn't learn his lesson, did he, from the last time? Just got to have court awareness.
.5:25 remaining in the third quarter. Adelaide working their way back. Bairstow tips it in.
That's tough. That's tough. He's been doing it all season.
Just the intensity to get after it. Assume every shot's missing is what Bairstow did, and easy tip back.
Down White's second miss of the game. Now 8 of 10 for his 22 points. An 8-0 run here for the 36ers. Hannes, it misses. McCarron scraps for that loose ball and comes up with it. But Johnson found a way through the traffic.
Wow.
Bairstow once again. They score the last 10.
Right place, right time, and it's starting to get a little bit messy on the boards now for the New Zealand Breakers. 28-17, they trail that category, and the O boards in particular. 12 offensive boards already for the Adelaide 36ers.
And of those 12, 5 belong to Bairstow.
McCarron leading the way on the glass. He's got 10 boards from your point guard.
CJ Bruton, Adelaide 36ers coach, coaching for the first time against the team that he played with for 6 years, 179 games, won 3 titles, and his number 23 is retired by the New Zealand Breakers. Foul on the floor on Rob Lowe.
Yeah, CJ grew up with a basketball in his hand. Father played, Cal.
And it wasn't just the 3 with New Zealand.
Get the weak side to help.
6 in total.
6 in total?
Yeah. Well, I think we need to always say that because that's impressive. 6 titles is something extraordinary.
Things might just get a little better here for the Adelaide 36ers and their fans, because Rob Lowe has given them a little cheeky something to eat on a Sunday afternoon. Burgers. Courtesy of Hungry Jack's. The code word is bench. You can see on your screen for all South Australian basketball fans. McCarron with the shot clock at 4. Threw a no-look lob for Bairstow. That was a little sloppy.
Rob Lowe, seeing his first action, never got into the contest in the first half.
Oh, my God.
And that's what I was talking about before. Every time Yanni Wetzel down low has looked like he's had an advantage. And if they're not going to send a double team, you heard in the last time out, they're not going to, they don't want it. They just want to play him straight up.
Johnson baseline. Wraps it around and lays up. 14 points. The lead is 5 once again for the New Zealand Breakers.
Oh, he had it.
Open again.
Bark's pass was telegraphed. Johnson, Bairstow, I should say, got a hand on it. And Hannes wanted to push the issue. It's knocked out of bounds.
High low action. Rob Lowe missed Wetzel on the roll-off. Then Bark with the penetration shot past one that he should have shot. So
He's made 3 mistakes in the last 4 possessions down the court.
But just starting to get a little bit more uncomfortable for the New Zealand Breakers. The pressure, the decision-making then starts to become a little bit more questionable.
And they put the work in, Copes. Hugo Besson's barely been a factor in this third quarter. He sits down. Hannes unloads.
Wow. Yet again, we've got a game, fellas.
13 down at quarter time, 17 down at the half. The 36ers trail by 2. McDowell White stepping back for 3.
There we go.
What an afternoon he's having. 7 of 8 from outside. Has 25 points and leads all scorers. Manny Malone, no good. We tick up to 2 minutes left. McDowell White looks cross court and straight into the game. Isaac Davidson. How's that for punch off the bench? Hannes responds with 2 of his own.
Both teams having problems with the on-ball screens right now. The Adelaide 36 is a hard showing on most of those screens, and it's the extra pass. That time they switch.
Oh, Dieng. Got away from McCarron. 2 points on 1 of 5 this afternoon for the French next star. Hannes head down to the cup, drives and scores. Back to 4.
It's like they've flipped the jerseys at half-time. Defense now really, really difficult for the New Zealand Breakers. There's some easy action at the rim.
Davidson to repeat the dose. Not a mile away. The game's changed. McCarron, though, that time couldn't finish with the left hand. He wanted a foul.
Looked like he rushed that just a little. That play on the rim.
Wetzel into the corner. Davidson getting no respect from the 36ers. He's 1 of 3.
Well, he's got a clearly defined role, hasn't he? He's come in and whacked up three-pointers. So his role on the team is if you're open, let it fly.
Hannes ran out of room. Hiram Harris took it at the body of Wetzel and Davidson, who was called for the foul, and Harris will get to the stripe.
Hannes, I think he hurt his hip.
He's come up a little sore by the look. Looks like Hannah's going to check out of the game.
Let's go, guys.
Duffelmeyer. He checks back in.
15 points on 5 of 8 shooting. And Dusty Hannes, he'll get himself checked out. So Duffelmeyer back in. Hiram Harris at his 3rd NBL team. Played 16 games as a development player for Illawarra. And then last season was an injury replacement player with Cairns. It brings good form to the NBL. Had a great NZNBL season.
Yeah, good. Yes.
With Hawke's Bay.
And that's what got him over the line, is that form. It's a league where it's getting a lot of credibility coming out of the New Zealand National League.
The 36ers have staged one hell of a comeback. They trailed by 19 at one stage. They go into 3/4 time, just 2 points down, and it sets itself up for a bumper finish to this one at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. It's Sunday Hoops here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. Three-quarter time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Sunday hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Adelaide 36ers had a big third quarter. They outscored New Zealand 27-12. We got ourselves a two-point ball game.
Absolutely. Whatever CJ said at halftime, it's worked because they've shut Will McDowell down, White down, and Brisson down.
Well, look at the effect, the defensive effort. And that defense creates offense, and they've been able to score well. And the 12 points is a marked improvement. And, you know, watching the game, I don't see anything significant strategically they've changed different, or there's been a significant change. It's more been the execution,
hustle,
the pressure, the way in which they're getting through screens. Look at Manny Malou right there, up contesting. Fighting over the screens a little harder.
So is that effort and mindset?
100%. 100%.
Nice job by Rob Lowe to give the Breakers another look at it here. Dieng with a tough step back three.
New Zealand do a good job of sharing that ball, though. And they don't take bad shots. They find the open man.
Well, they do, and there's a good poor outlet pass. It was the right idea, but you just got to know your targets, and the execution on that pass was not great. But I don't think you can afford, or they can afford too much time for Yanni Wetzel to be on. I think they need to make it more of a target of Wetzel from what we've seen so far. Finn Delaney only had the 3 field goal attempts.
Nice drive by Tad Duffelmeyer. It's been a handy pickup. Scoreless in round one. Had 5 points on Thursday. Only 7 minutes. He's played around the same this afternoon. Gasol for three. Stone cold since halftime.
These shots start to become a whole lot tougher now the scores are locked up. They're kind of a lot easier to take when you're 10, 12 points up and knock it down. But now we're in the last quarter. A lot more pressure.
Nice find. Duffelmeyer for Hannes. Fires away. Offensive rebound for Harris. That makes it 13 for the afternoon for Adelaide. Humphries.
That's a good take off the rim by Lowe. That ball looked like it had a chance to drop in. Of course, once it hits the rim, you can hit it off. Different to the NBA rules, of course.
And there's some more of that defensive pressure that you were talking about.
Manny Malou checking out of the game. Some good minutes. Good minutes on the defensive end. That energy, that little bit of spark.
Delaney off the inbound. Gets a good look at it. That misses. Yanni Wetzel.
That's your boy, Drew. He's back.
I don't know if he's my boy, but in this game, it seemed to be an area where they've had an advantage. Keeps dunking him like that, he can become my boy.
You might have some competition, I think. Harris catch and shoot. There's a hold off the ball here on Wetzel. What? Could have been heart in the mouth sort of stuff for Isaac Humphries. He had 2 fouls early in the game.
He's only played 13 minutes in this contest. There it is, Wetzel coming in. Good follow-up. No one anywhere putting a body on him.
18 points, 4 rebounds for Wetzel. Hannes comes out again. Had a hip issue late in that third quarter. He had some work on at three-quarter time. Duffelmeyer between the legs on Rasmus Barr. Couldn't get it done, though. The Breakers, who only scored 12 points in the third quarter, they had 31 in the second. Wetzel hard at Humphries, and one play.
He's a machine. He's a machine.
Isaac Humphries just a little bit in no man's land there. Couldn't really do too much on the on-ball, and then the dive, is too much separation and just really had to contest at the rim. Take a look at the rebound. There he's trying to help, but he didn't really need that much help. Made the easy dump off. Mitch McCarron's got to come in and tag that roller.
There is help there. There needs to be a tag guy there.
Tag the roller and then rely on the closeout.
Absolutely.
6:50 to play. Withers spins on Bark, had the height advantage and made the most of it.
He's a solid player. Does a lot of things right.
He's up to 14 for the afternoon.
That was more like we saw in the first half, not the second. Starts the top, gets to the cup of a simple screen, unscathed.
Fall away from Isaac Humphries, trying to get one back on Yanni Wetzel.
That's a tough shot. Really good touch by Isaac Humphries.
Dow White skips to the corner that time. Bark made sure that his foot didn't touch the sideline. Unfortunately, the ball didn't touch the rim.
All right, let me tell you something. He's not having a great game, is he?
2 points in 25 minutes
25
for the Dane. He comes out of the game.
25.
No Peyton Seaver this afternoon for New Zealand. No Tom Abercrombie or Jeremiah Martin.
Well, they change up their defense. They're having a look at a 2-3 zone right now.
Johnson for three.
And that's what can hurt you.
Quickest way to get you out of that zone.
Lowe was there, but just irrelevant. He was there, but no pressure, no real contest on the shot.
36ers in front at home at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And now New Zealand cough it up. They kept it in for some strange reason. All the momentum with the home team. Bairstow with the left hand, tough move, didn't go.
The Swans still yet to score in the second half.
He's going to get himself a chance to change that now.
You see the scoring. And 12 points in the third quarter. Considering where this game was at, is an outstanding effort by the Adelaide 36ers to turn it round. And have restricted to only 6 so far, make that 7 in a quarter, in half a quarter in this last. So all the criticism we had of their defense in that first half, give them credit for making the adjustments coming out of that halftime break.
There would have been some choice words, trust me, words we're not allowed to say on TV.
Not that time for Johnson. New Zealand. That wasn't happening in the first half.
Not at all.
And Withers aggressive out for Bairstow. Yes!
Bairstow again has been huge.
He's the difference. He's the difference in his game, though. He is offensive rebounds, shooting the ball well, playing good defense. He's the difference.
What a sensational turnaround this is. The Adelaide 36ers lead by 2. 4:30 to play in the Hungry Jacks NBL. How this game has changed.
It certainly has. It's turned on its head, and we're going to talk about the guys that are scoring. That's what we do. We focus on who's putting the points on the board, but it's really been the adjustments on the defensive end. And those easy contested shots, yeah, there's been a couple of them that they were making in the first half that they're not. But by and large, there's been a lot more pressure coming from the Adelaide 36ers.
CJ Bruton has engineered this comeback. He's got buy-in from the group defensively, and that's made all the difference. They've got an opportunity to be 2 wins and 2 losses after round 2. There's still a lot to play out in this game.
Once you get this crowd going, they get behind you.
Adelaide lead it by 2. 4.5 minutes to play at the Entertainment Centre. The way that Will McDowell-White was shooting the ball in the first half, I'm almost certain he would have knocked one down from full court. And if you think you can, head to the NBL website win page to enter your chance to shoot for $100,000 in the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. You'll get another opportunity if you miss from halfway, and that time around you'll be shooting for 50K. John Casey would probably knock one in from halfway, I'm guessing.
Three-point line would be my limit, Jack, I'd have to tell you. I was listening in with Dan Shamir, the coach of the New Zealand Breakers, during that timeout, where all over the shop was his comment, and I think he's right on at the moment. They've just lost their way. Foul going to be called here on Adelaide, and free throws to come. But interestingly, Finn Delaney has not scored since quarter time. In fact, he's taken just one shot since quarter time. He was taking an energy bar. He took some pickle juice. He was getting a lot of fluid into him. I wonder if this fatigue is really starting to set in here.
I think it's a combination of the fatigue, but also the fact that the other guys around him have been so hot, and he's prepared to sacrifice himself to go to those options when they're cooking. So, there's no doubt to be tired, playing 39 minutes. It's not like we used to do in 48, but still.
No, the way you used to do in 48. I never played 48 minutes.
Please, give me a spell.
Gazy goes, we. I was going to say, he can't be that tired if Gazy can play 48 minutes.
Annis with the off the bounce, getting to the cup.
Have you seen his day?
He's been solid today. He's been solid.
Lose Wetzel. Johnson followed him in. Seemed like he got a lot of ball.
They're twirling their fingers. It's not Saturday Night Live type twirling. Saturday Night Fever. Johnny Travolta style. This is, please, we want to have a look at this and review. Nice little boomerang action up the top, comes off, then comes back off and doesn't settle for the three, gets to the cup. Timeout. Review.
Coach's challenge for the 36ers. Each team has one.
21, the hand foul.
If successful, you retain the review. If unsuccessful, you lose the timeout and you lose your review.
What's the percentage so far this year?
Not good.
Not good?
Poor.
Is it poor?
That looks like
this one might be a good one to challenge.
They're very reluctant. And that is
clean.
That is clean. Now, it's a long-distance shot, but that looks clean.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it conclusive enough? Because from what we've seen, there's been some really good action that you could overturn, and gets the ball.
Did he get any arm or any body with it, though?
Clean.
Gee, that looks
clean.
Put it this way, you wouldn't have been complaining if it hadn't been called.
That's right.
If it was a no call, we wouldn't have gone back and say, oh, he was robbed on that one. That should have been a foul. That looks clean. Having said that,
All right, tell me when you're ready.
So it needs to be clear and definitive.
The coaching challenge is successful.
There we
The goal
go.
on the floor is cancelled. Jump ball, centre circle.
Love it.
love it. Love it. Keeps the time out and we get a jump ball.
Good challenge by CJ. And what shouldn't be lost, how good was the block from Daniel Johnson?
Very nice. Well done, review. Well done, officials.
Seamless.
And that's why we're going to the jump ball, because it was a block shot. The ball was in dispute. So they go to a jump ball. Some say it should just be the alternative arrow, but on the review situation, they do it a little differently, and Adelaide 36 has come up with it.
Long live the jump ball.
I love it. Get rid of the possession arrow.
McCarron up top. Here's Hannah's nice play for Bairstow. Roll to the basket. He thought he was fouled. No call coming from the officials. McDowell-White loses the ball. Mitch McCarron, 11 rebounds this afternoon. 5 assists as well to go with his 4
Your
points.
point guard with 11 rebounds.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's all energy. He's getting after it, leading from the front with those energy areas.
Johnson.
That's just a breakdown by Yanni Wetzel. There was a crowd behind him, and maybe that's the communication you need to have. Dusty Hannahs was coming off, and he bid on Dusty Hannahs and let one of the big-time clutch players off for an easy 3.
That hurts, though, at the other end. McCarron fouls Besson. 3 free
Have a look at
throws
this.
coming.
Wetzel, see Wetzel, he bites on Dusty Hannahs, but you could see Rob Lowe, there was a crowd behind him, and that's where if you're yelling out to your teammates, stay up, I got you, I got the curl, then Wetzel perhaps doesn't retreat as much and is a lot closer to contest that 3 ball.
And I'm sure the scouting report said, don't leave Daniel Johnson alone at a 3-point line.
One of the most underrated skills in the game, and it is a skill, is talking, communicating on defense. And coaches bark at players at practice and they yes you to death, yeah, when it's coming, I'll do it. If you don't practice and it doesn't become a habit, you don't get it when it counts the most, like we just saw there.
Adelaide lead it by 3. Searching for their 2nd win of the NBL 21 season and to make it 2 for the weekend. Hannahs late in the clock.
Huge.
The tougher the shot, the better he's shooting.
Big, that's big. He's done quite well today.
Well, he's been his best outing in the 36er uniform, in my judgment.
He's answering the challenges that were thrown his way in round 1. Johnson got a piece of that one for McDowell White.
This has been a great recovery for the Adelaide 36ers. Oh dear.
Well, head check from Dusty.
Probably a bad shot, too.
Yeah, it was relatively early in the shot clock.
Low left open up top.
Yeah.
Tried to bank it home.
He didn't try. He was trying to put it in, straight in. That's just a poor shot.
He was okay a couple of years ago at the 3-point line, though, wasn't he?
No, he is. That's
what he does.
Been part of his calling card. That counts.
Points are going to count for Dusty. And the free throw still to come.
It has all fallen apart for the New Zealand Breakers, and fatigue is definitely a factor. But they haven't been able to score. 12 in the 3rd, minute and 40 to go. They've only had 12 points in this 4th. And at the other end, just that intensity on the defensive end, a few defensive breakdowns, and how quickly it can change. The margin is so small with all these teams. Doesn't matter who in this league it is. Very small margins for errors.
Dan Shamir calls a timeout. A little under 90 seconds remaining. It's remarkable how this game has turned around. New Zealand burned their last time out, and with it, you feel like it might be their last chance. 92-83, they're down. Dusty Hannahs came in for a lot of criticism after the NBL Blitz and round 1. How has he answered this weekend, Gazy?
He's done it really well. 8 of 14. He was really emotional after that win, talking about the games against the Perth Wildcats and how he felt like he'd let the team down and really carried a burden. And now it's like the shackles are off. Hit a big shot against the Jack Jumpers, got his confidence going, and today he's been really good. His judgment has been good. He's been patient. He's 4 of 6 from the 3-point line, which is what he's been brought in for. And he's also been brought in to put points on the board. 23 points, 8 of 14, 4 of 6. Terrific numbers for Dusty Hannahs. He's also got 4 assists to go along with, and only the 1 turnover. So really good game by Dusty.
Is it fair to say he walks around with a bit of confidence?
He apparently, word has it that he's not afraid to let those around him know what he's capable of doing.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
When you're a small guy, not blessed with incredible quickness, sometimes you've got to be your own promoter and a bit of bravado.
But you got to back it up as well, though.
And he has tonight.
Great hands, Bairstow. A disaster out of the timeout for New Zealand. Withers puts the exclamation mark on it. They're going to remember this one for a long time to come inside the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
And he's been another one that stepped up. Their import duo. He got 16. Dusty has 23.
It has broken down in the worst possible way. Must finish Malcolm's part.
This is a tale of two tapes. If I'm Dan Shamir, I'm showing that first half and saying this is how we want to play. Second half, terrible.
Wow.
Closed his eyes. He closed his eyes somewhere.
Creative. That's just instinct and touch. He's up to 22. What a transformation.
Yep.
What can this do for a team? They were winless after the first round of matches. They're going to be 500 after 2 rounds. What can a win like this do going forward for Adelaide?
Well, I think what it does, it gives that confidence and belief. They should not have lost any heart in those losses. They lost to 2 really, really good teams, championship contending teams, and they've taken care of business where they need to.
They also cannot play like they played the first half.
No.
Because if they do, they're going to be in trouble with every team.
Well, it's all about going, like you talk about going to the tape. CJ goes, got to get it over the halfway line. They're going to get called for an 8-second violation. What are they doing?
That's your
It's
boy.
not over yet.
That's your boy going off.
Well, it is over, but he's going to get a turnover because they're going to
Go back the line, automatic
pass it
technical.
in. I don't expect...
Technical. You go over the line.
Wow.
He wants the fans to get up.
Maybe just get the ball past halfway first. Dow White's had a really good afternoon, but it's not going to be enough. The biggest comeback win of the NBL22 season so far. 19 points down. They thought all hope was lost. The Adelaide 36ers dig down deep to win it 98-85.
Absolutely. Great game. Great second half by Adelaide.
Well, the three-point line. Breakers 11 and 19 threes at the half. Second half, 2 of 13.
Wow.
So, and give credit to the Adelaide 36ers and their effort and intensity on the defensive end. Put a lot more pressure on their three-point attempts. And there's your Foot Locker player of the game. Go and buy yourself some sneakers from Foot Locker. You deserve it, Dusty. 25 and 4 assists, 1 rebound. Well done to you, Dusty Hannes. Oh, he's got a little dancing action. I love it. Gotta have fun when you're out there. He's certainly having fun.
They haven't just won. They won by 13.
Incredible.
It's an amazing turnaround.
Just locked them up. 24 points in the half, the second half for the New Zealand Breakers.
And what do you think CJ would have said at halftime, Drew? How do you go from what they gave us the first half to the second half?
Play harder, please. Basically, to summarise it, play harder.
Please.
Whatever he said worked. Adelaide with the highest score of the NBL22 season and the biggest comeback of the season so far. They win it today, 98-85. We're back to wrap it up on Sunday Hoops.
Wow.
What a remarkable afternoon we've had. It started off with a throwdown for the ages, and it's continued on Sunday Hoops with the Adelaide 36ers. You could be forgiven for almost tuning out at halftime because the game looked done, but that's why you don't tune out in the Hungry Jacks NBL, because the 36ers got it done by 13.
And look, whatever CJ said in halftime absolutely worked, because these guys came out, played great defense, got their shot going, and got a 13-point lead to win. That's fantastic.
Yeah, to me, it's not overly complicated. Like I said, I didn't notice anything radical in what they were doing on the defensive end other than being more aggressive. A little bit more ball pressure, getting through those screens a little harder. And then when you start to get some stops, it's amazing how much easier it is on the offensive end. And it was almost, they completely changed roles, and the ease at which some of these shots that you're seeing on your screen, the Adelaide 36ers were getting in the second half. Perhaps there are some hard luck stories for the New Zealand Breakers. Clearly, when you've got 3 of your starting 5 out. But take nothing away from Will McDowell-White. Only had 5 of those 27 in the second half, and same with Besson. He only had 6 of his in the second half, and just everyone got cooking for the Adelaide 36ers, and the confidence, you could see it just oozing out of him. And as such, the shooting percentages went from really poor to pretty solid. Look at the 3 balls. 3-point shooting, the difference between the two at halftime to the end of the game just completely changed sides.
No, they're proper.
And the confidence that could come from this Copes. That's to me, that's the other big thing from an Adelaide point of view. They've got Cairns in Cairns next Saturday night, who are having their struggles at the moment. They could start to get some momentum rolling.
Absolutely, and again, I say when you play in Adelaide, the fans get behind you, you get a win like this. All the guys are fired up. You go get that next win, and then you give yourselves a chance to make the finals.
It's been a fair day.
It's been a huge day. What a showdown we've got, with a little bit of argy-bargy, a bit of spice in there, reviews coming you would expect, and a great game, great fight back, and a tremendous win by the Phoenix, and the Adelaide 36ers going from the outhouse to the penthouse in a half of basketball.
It's great to have the dynamic duo with us here on Sunday Hoops. Thank you for being with us as well. We can't wait to see you next time as the Breakers go home, unfortunately, without the winners, Adelaide. They're the winners, 98-85. We'll see you next time in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Trade.